Everyone over 40 who's tried creatine eventually says the same thing. It just doesn't work for me. They take it for weeks, nothing, maybe a little water weight, no strength, no energy, definitely no fat loss. But here's what nobody's telling you, Gov. Creatine didn't fail you. Your cells stopped being able to use it. And that's a completely different problem, because if your body can't absorb and activate creatine like it did at 30, you're not just wasting a supplement. You could be actively slowing your metabolism and losing muscle you need. In this video, I'll show you what actually changes after 40 and why most people never see creatine's real benefits. And I'll give you the simple adjustments that could completely change what happens next. Let's get into it. Let me describe something. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You work out consistently. You eat reasonably well. You take your creatine, but your belly isn't shrinking. You're not getting stronger. You feel like you're spinning your wheels. Is it just my age? Is my body just done? That's not a mindset problem. That's a biological signal. Here's what most fitness content skips entirely. Creatine doesn't work the same in a 45-year-old body as it does at 25. Not because of willpower, not because of discipline, because of cellular biology. And once you understand what changes, it all makes sense. Think of your muscle cells like a fuel tank. When you're young, the tank fills up fast, holds a lot, and empties efficiently. After 40, three things quietly change, and each one makes creatine less effective in a very specific way. First, insulin sensitivity drops. Creatine gets into your muscles through a transport system that's partly triggered by insulin. When your cells become less responsive to insulin, which happens naturally with age, stress, poor sleep, and low muscle mass, creatine uptake slows down. You're taking it, it's just not getting where it needs to go. Second, muscle protein synthesis slows. Your body becomes less efficient at building and maintaining muscle tissue. And here's why that matters for fat loss. Muscle is your primary metabolic engine. Less muscle means a slower metabolism. Slower metabolism means fat accumulates even when you're eating the same amount you always have. That's not a guess, that's biology. Third, mitochondrial efficiency decreases. Your mitochondria become less effective at producing ATP, the cellular fuel creatine helps regenerate. So even if some creatine gets in, the machinery it's supposed to power is already running at reduced capacity. You see the problem? That's not aging as a vague concept. That's a specific, addressable mechanism. And here's the part that changes everything. Creatine can actually help fix all three of these problems but only if you take it in a way that accounts for them. Most people don't. They take it the same way they would at 22. And then they wonder why nothing happens. Let me break a few beliefs you probably hold right now. The first one almost everyone gets wrong. Belief 1, I need to do a loading phase. 20 grams a day for a week was designed for young, high-volume athletes. After 40, that approach causes bloating, GI discomfort, and water retention that feels discouraging and makes most people quit. Research shows that 3 to 5 grams daily reaches full saturation within 3 to 4 weeks, with none of those side effects. The slow approach is actually more compatible with how your body works now. The loading phase was never meant for you. Belief 2, creatine is just for bulking. This one is almost completely backwards, and it's costing people real results. Creatine's most important role after 40 has nothing to do with getting bigger. It's about preserving lean muscle during a caloric deficit. When you're trying to lose fat, your body will try to burn muscle for energy. Creatine helps protect that muscle. That's the whole game. More muscle means a faster metabolism. A faster metabolism means more fat loss over time. Creatine isn't competing with your goal, it's enabling it. Belief 3, timing doesn't matter. For a 25-year-old with excellent insulin sensitivity, that's probably true. But after 40, there's a specific window where creatine uptake is significantly enhanced, and most people miss it entirely. We'll get there. Here's a story I hear constantly. Someone starts taking creatine on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning, with just water, maybe alongside their black coffee. They do this for a month. Nothing happens. They conclude creatine doesn't work, and they stop. What actually happened? Fasted creatine has lower uptake in people with reduced insulin sensitivity. And after 40, that's most people. Without a small insulin response to trigger the transporter proteins in your muscle cells, a significant portion of that creatine gets excreted. You paid for it. You took it every single day. And then you urinated it out. That's the whole story. Now here's the second mistake. People who do eat before taking creatine often pair it with a low-carbohydrate meal. And again, PAP, without carbohydrates driving an insulin response, the transport mechanism is underactivated. Same result, different reason. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Take creatine with a small amount of carbohydrate and protein HAUB, post-workout or with a mixed meal. Even 30 to 40 grams of carbs alongside your creatine can dramatically improve cellular uptake. One study found something striking here. Combining creatine with carbohydrates increased muscle creatine retention by 60% compared to creatine taken alone. 60%. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between results and no results. Same supplement, completely different outcome. Quick but important to calm, because this question comes up constantly. Does all of this apply to women over 40 as well? Yes, equally. In fact, some research suggests women may have a higher relative benefit from creatine than men, partly because women tend to have lower baseline creatine stores in muscle tissue. The hormonal shifts of perimenopause accelerate muscle loss and creatine directly counteracts that process. There's also emerging evidence connecting creatine to cognitive function and mood regulation. The dose is the same. The timing is the same. The mechanism is the same. Okay, here's exactly what to do. No complexity, no phases, no expensive stacks, just what actually works. Step 1, hang. Dose: 3 to 5 grams of creatine monohydrate per day. Monohydrate is the most researched, most effective, most affordable form. Anything fancier is marketing. Don't let the supplement industry talk you into paying more for something that works worse. Step 2 has timing. Take it post-workout or with any meal that contains both protein and carbohydrates. That's it. If you train fasted, take it with your first meal after training. The window doesn't have to be perfect hub, it just can't be fasted. Step 3.1, consistency. Creatine works by slowly saturating your muscle cells over weeks. Missing days doesn't erase. Step 4, hydration. Creatine draws water into muscle cells. That's part of how it works. Aim for at least 2.5 liters per day. Step 5, low. Pair it with resistance training. Creatine without any training stimulus will do very little. Even 2 sessions per week is enough to activate it. That's the full protocol. No changes after the first month. Just consistency. That's the part most people skip. If you've been taking creatine and seeing nothing, it wasn't a sign that your body is too old or the supplement is overrated. It was a sign that the approach was wrong for the biology you have right now. That's a completely solvable problem. The good news is that biology is adjustable. And what you just learned is a starting point most people never get. If this finally made sense of something that's been frustrating you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next one.